my experience and just information, that I feel that we experience in the yoga room. So, yoga. Let's just go around. What is yoga and what does it mean? So, Rune, why don't you start? Like, what do you think yoga?
Keep you healthy, mentally and physically.
Healthy, big one. What does it mean to you personally?
Doing exercise, when I started, now I can see a tremendous difference.
So, you see the benefits.
The benefit.
Awesome. What about you?
I think of it as a challenge.
Challenge?
Which creates the discipline.
Is it okay that I videos with you guys? Is it okay?
Yeah, and it gives discipline.
I lack discipline in other parts of my life. So by doing the yoga, it channels discipline in the rest of my life.
Wow, that's cool. Let's remember that word. That's a big word. It's good.
I think is putting your body in an alignment,
Very good.
cure you from all the sickness.
How about it cures?
Yeah.
What you're saying, right?
I think what you're saying is reverse aging.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Michele met me older,
That's right.
40 years ago.
That's right. Marina, I think you've been around, 14 years? Can you believe that?
Yes.
She's one of our established charter members. You look the same, better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want to say anything or you want to listen?
Listen. She said listen.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
tell me.
sounds good. Rick, if you were to, like a word that defines yoga to you,
Unity
unity,
and community.
community. Yeah. Awesome.
I think for me, mental peace, physical.
Yeah, good one. And say, what was the other one you said?
Mental peace, and also physical peace, discipline. I think I like the word discipline.
And the physical and mental health. Right, gives us all that.
For me, it's meditation and self-awareness.
Yeah.
We
I'm going to
have-
put it this way, that it's meditation and what it means though is it gives us self-awareness. Oh, that's such a big word, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Sorry my writing, but I like to write and kind of see it.
I have someone from Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Shanti says, Bikram Yoga is awesome. Yoga itself is a big, big asset. I thank Bikram Yoga especially as it helped me lose 57 pounds.
Wow.
Peace and self-understanding and serenity.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Shanti.
Serenity. Yeah. Understanding. These are really big words that, you don't, to think about what yoga means and come up with all those words. I'm going to take it a step further. Because yoga by definition means union between the mind and the body. But yoga, what's interesting to me is that it means yoke, that union of mind and body. And a yoke, if you can imagine a yoke like a necklace around you, when it fits you perfectly, it's comfortable and it's suited just for you. So that's what's the beautiful thing about the union between the mind and the body. It's not just one size fits all. It has to be yours, mine, right? Which makes it so cool. It's very individual. So keep that in mind. But I'm going to read some quotes from some people that you'll recognize that actually talk about what yoga is and what it represents. So I'm going to draw some more. The first one here is from Bikram. Practice, you must practice, practice, and practice until you feel yourself. Go deeper and deeper to know yourself, to self-realize, and know the truth takes time. So when I hear that, these are the words that I hear as he describes yoga, and I'm sure you will too, but it's yoga is more internal. Yeah? It's authentic. It's all truth. Vishnu Charan Ghosh is Bikram Chaudhary's guru. There's a picture of him over there. His quote, yoga keeps the body full of vitality, immune to diseases even at an old age. Yogis never die, they never get sick. So just like you were saying, right, that I'm hearing from this is that it's physical health, and well-being. Bikram's famous quote, which we have up here, is so right on. Never too sick, never too bad, and never too old to start from scratch and do yoga once again. This is a huge concept because it's available to everyone. Everyone.
It's true when you come back even after a break, you know, it doesn't feel like it's brand new again.
Yeah.
It feels familiar, like
Yes.
at home.
Right, like home. Yes. Because your body's craving it too, right? But it's a tool for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're injured, you've never done it, where you live in the world, right? It's for everyone. It's such a big thing. So it's all inclusive. Rajashri is Bikram's wife. The yoga is a journey, a voyage. It helps us live a wonderful life. Our journey is coming to know what life is and what death is. So when I hear that, and I'm sure you guys agree, I hear it's a journey. Right? It's a journey and there's discovery. Paramahansa Yogananda, can't rule him out, right? He's the brother of Vishnu Charan Ghosh, who again is the guru of Bikram Chaudhary. That's why we have those three beautiful guru masters over there, those pictures up. Man comes here on earth for the sole purpose of learning to break the cords that bind his soul. Disease, failure, negation, greed, jealousy. Break these bonds now. You are in a cocoon of your own bad habits and you must be freed to spread your beautiful wings of divine qualities. That's a beautiful one. So when I read this one, the first thing I think of right too is freedom. Right? To break those binds, you know. So let's put freedom down. Roy Eugene Davis is a disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda. His quote, rest on a single point of purpose and watch how you will begin to ignore that which you don't want to be involved with. That's a big one too, because the yoga really involves detachment. Last one. I remember this vividly when I was at teacher training. The yoga's destination is mental peace. Your ultimate destination, which is what we were saying, right? It's not only the health of the body, but really it's the health of the mind. Mental peace.
But you can't have mental peace if you are sick, so the health of the body is very important.
That's right. You gotta have it all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and these are just concepts that we know, and I'm just sharing with you kind of what I hear from just some famous, yogis out there. So if I was to distill this down, what all this is, yoga is a healing modality. all these things, healing modality to make us whole. Right? It's all, everything that we do. So, how does it work? This is all great. This is what the yoga is. But how is it applied? Like how, well, we know from our practice that that's the tool to help us achieve all of this. Yeah? Would you guys agree? Hi, Lee. Good to see you, buddy. Let me write a little more. We're going to leave this, okay? Let's leave this here. In fact, we can leave, how about this one next to you, Arun? So we have all these out. And the tool is we build a connection between the mind and the body. So you've heard Brad say this. Bikram says it a lot. I've said it maybe not as much as I probably could. But in that room, what's magnificent about it is it's the only place where the subject and the object are the same. It's you working on you. So you're using the body as a medium to train the mind to help you, right, dismantle the chains that sort of bind the soul. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand that concept a little bit, what I'm saying? So the yoga, when you're building that connection between your mind and your body, like standing head to knee, you're holding, your grip is really tight, you're looking in the mirror, and you're taking your mind and you're focusing it on your leg, that is the tool to help you dismiss all the other noise so that you can calm the fluctuations of a monkey mind. Right? Only subject in the world where the subject and the object are the same. It gives you a chance to work on you. It's not like you're taking golf lessons to perfect your game, or you're going to take French to learn. It's all in there is a study of you. So, in that way, right, when we're breaking those chains that each of us, that sabotage who we are, that best version of ourselves, ultimately what we're trying to do is break free.
Freedom.
Freedom. So here's, in my mind, again, concepts that I feel that I derive from the class and watching all of you, is the yoga, especially in this room. The mirrors offer you an opportunity, right, to get information. It's reflecting back to you. The repetition means that it's going to happen back and forth, day after day, posture after posture. And what you start to do is you begin to notice. And then when you start to notice, then you start to become aware. Remember we had that beautiful word over there, self-awareness. Right? So imagine you're in the class, you're just starting to accept this information, noticing, and you're becoming aware. And that awareness starts to breed familiarity. What's he worried about? That's why the repetition is so important. You become familiar. Maybe it's a body part, but then you start to get familiar with what you feel, what you see. Forget about the color of it. You may judge it good, bad, or indifferent, but it doesn't matter. You become familiar, right? And when you become familiar, then that starts to breed, it's a big one, acceptance. I love this one because, you know, it doesn't matter if you like yourself. Excuse me, you love yourself. You want to become accepting of your behaviors. And it starts with this channel. So once you have this sense of acceptance, right, think about it. Then you start to, what's the word I was saying before that's super important?
Self-awareness.
Detachment.
Or detachment.
And then you have a better sense of understanding, right? And once you start to understand, that breeds peace. And this is the game changer. So remember our definitions of yoga, right? Kind of break the cords that bind the soul. Once you have that sense of peace, then all of a sudden, whatever act of suffering you have is kind of not charged anymore. Did you guys hear that, right? The suffering part goes away. And when, I want to say you want to park it to the side. It's not so of you. And because of that peace, you can see it, and that's when change starts to occur. Making sense? You can nod, yeah, yeah.
Nodding.
Are they nodding on Facebook Lives? Everybody nodding? Good. Transformation comes from there.
I would like to mention a comment from Facebook Live by Pete Metrulas. He defined yoga and he summed it up together in his words: we're in this together, pulling against the same challenges in life.
Yep. Exactly. Pete, thank you. Hold that thought. Hi, Jen. Because when he said the word we, doing this together, you have to remember that, Maria, because we're going to get to that. So does this start to make sense, right? And so then what happens is, this is the big word here, what yoga is delivering to you. And you can say it as I write it, okay? What is the yoga delivering through this kind of funnel? Say it.
Consciousness.
Consciousness. We become more conscious individuals, right? We start to have conscious behavior. We understand what we do, why we do. And through that whole cycle, right, we become dismantled, discharged from the energetic charge, and we then can make these wiser decisions, and we turn around and become more self-realized. That's the goal, to be more self-realized. Yeah? Makes sense? I'm going to go further. You guys with me? Woohoo! We're in it. So what's really funny, I want to share this with you, and Lee, you probably know this too. When you ask Bikram to define self-realization, he won't even talk to you. He doesn't even answer that question. But what's hilarious is everything you do in that room is the delivery of self-realization, which is why sometimes I think he doesn't really put the word self-realization into any kind of language, because everything you do in there is that. I'll give you some ideas. First of all, it's a class, so we're doing it together. Nobody is more special than anybody else, right? We use the yoga as a tool, which we talked about. You go at your own pace. Sit if you want. It's your yoke. He tells you a lot that you start to make your mind your best friend, breaking the cords that, those filters, right, that sabotage our freedom. One of the biggest problems in this country is that you underestimate yourself. That's a big one he'll talk about a lot, and I know that we say it too, right? Our negative thoughts are 9 times more powerful than our positive ones. So these are things that are happening in the room, right, that we're just kind of discovering. It's that self-study so that we can become aware of them and know, okay, they don't serve me, these serve me, right? And we follow that, noticing that path until we finally get that understanding. We can transform and be more conscious of it. So he's like constantly, these are things that are put into the dialogue as we do our practice with our bodies, which is so cool, right? We are slaves to the bad habits. Come in this room. It's the torture chamber where you kill yourself. Well, you're killing the smaller self, right? Really, it's, maybe we define all that junk out there as maybe we bucket it as ego. Right? And that's what we're trying to say. Oh, that serves us in some places, but we want to bucket it and put it over here and be conscious of when we choose to pull from that bucket. Right? So his delivery in that room is what you guys, all of us, myself included, are capturing and creating our unique hope, our union. Beautiful, right? But that's not all. There's one more where we follow this thread through. So, why? Why do we do all this? Hi there! I'll just leave this here and we can go back to it too. So, you know, there's so many limbs of yoga that you hear. We do a hatha yoga practice, a raja yoga practice. There's the 8 limbs, but all of them are trying to get you in a comfortable place to sit in lotus. Lotus position being a nice seated position where the spine is comfortable, that the energy can move up and down the spine, and we awaken the chakras so that we can contemplate life and experience enlightenment. Right, where we feel this sense of joy, and that's where really why the yogis developed the hatha practice, so it's comfortable to sit in this, because there's that sense of nirvana, this ability to be in this space where you're feeling oneness, whole, we, thanks Pete, together, yeah? So really, taking all of what we just did individually, we're coming together to create, in my mind, what is ultimate freedom. Sense of oneness. Or love. Mm-hmm. All by doing what we do in there. You've heard, use this one. Yoga is a science, right? And it follows nature. Well, the yoga is really following our human nature. Okay? So, our human nature tells us that whenever we start something, the reason why you came here to yoga in the first place is because you want to know what's in it for me. I love that it's good for you, but I'm not going to come because it's good for you. I'm going to come, right, because we want it, and that's our human nature. What is it doing for me, right? That's how it starts. Then, because you're doing so much yoga, right, and you start to wake up, and you discharge from the suffering, and you build an awareness, and you become more conscious, things start to rise, and you become a little bit more caring, conscious about community, each other, family. I mean, really think back hard, like to your practice, right, and what it's giving you, and all of a sudden you have this delivery, right, or this feeling of expansion, and you care a little bit more about, right, the we, the us. And there's that togetherness, Pete, right? We care about community. We care about family. We care about, and then it goes up even further, which is really what we're doing today, right? Even our consciousness starts to grow, and there's a sense of expansion where we start to care about the world we live in, right? We think more globally, right? So this is, I'm going to say world, you know, and there's an R in there, guys, and then, and us. Yeah, so we're rising in consciousness through yoga. That's our human nature. But where it gets fun, and I'm telling you what I see. I see it in all of you. So as we get care and our consciousness rises, right, and we evolve as a human being, right, it comes all the way back down again to me. It's supposed to be a heart. Comes all the way back down, and that whole level of consciousness evolves, and we bring it back down again so that we care more about ourselves. And then we go even deeper, more layers, and we go deeper with who we are as a community. And then we come up even more in who we are right? And so then we have this feeling of no separation. It's one. It's beautiful. That's the journey that we're on with our yoga practice. So it becomes one of selflessness in the context of really being selfish. Pretty cool. We have meetings every Monday morning, and I want you to know this too. The team, we think about this stuff because it's important, because that's what the product is. All of what we're doing, right, to know the postures, but it's leading us into. That's why we have the rise you see by the bathroom. And our mission here is empowering self-realization, igniting compassion. So having a day like today, where it's an International Yoga Day, to know that other parts of the world are focusing in on this same idea only means the world can become a better place. Because ultimately it is one and all about love. Cool? That's all I have for you guys.
Namaste.
Yeah, well, you know what? I have, and I want to take any additions and questions too that you guys have. But you know, books. I think there's so many Audible books and stuff out there. But one of read the Bikram books, especially the orange one. Untethered Soul. You guys ever heard of that book by Michael Singer? Pick up that book. It's exactly this in a beautiful way. Michael Singer is from the Redwoods. Don't they have a Buddhist community up there? And there's another book out there called Oneness by Rasha. Amazing concepts in that one too.
What's the first one called? Michael.
Bikram's book. The other one is called Untethered Soul. Second one, what did I say? I said Bikram's book. The first one, Untethered Soul. Oneness by Rasha.
Awareness?
Oneness.
Oneness.
Oneness. Beatrice. Great books, you guys. That you won't put down. I was going to bring in my Oneness book. It is so, I highlight like crazy, right? Stuff too. And it's all torn in, but that's good, right? It's a book that's used. And I prefer, I like the paper, I like the smell of the book. But I mean, sometimes Kindles are great because you can flip from one book to another with just the press of a button, right? And read things too. So with that said, you guys tell me, what's your feeling? Like, anything you want to add? Thank you for letting me share all this.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool, right? You guys, I feel like you're all nodding and sort of get it, right? You get it in your skin and in your feeling and in your bones. Yeah. Yeah.
Peace is a relative term.
Say that again?
Peace, mental peace, right? It's a relative term. Peace for you may not be the same for me or for her or for other people. How do you define peace?
Well, that's why when I was saying the union between mind and body and that yoke is so individual, my peace can be different than yours. That's a great concept for how the world can get along, because there are ways to honor the differences. A lot of times too, Arun, I think that sometimes the ways that we don't get along is because we've dismissed context. I can't know what your piece is, because unless I know your context. But if I knew a little bit more about your community, your connections to your life, your context and how you live, then I might be able to, remember you guys, the yoga helps you detach, and in that detachment, you have a lot more empathy, right? You can look around freely. I'm glad you brought this up, because that's the point too, right? Is that you've got to be able to be empathetic and not be defensive and go, okay, tell me a little bit about yours without feeling like it's something personal or attack on. And how can we create common ground where everyone still can be very different? We figured out a way. There's a lot of different people in our room. Trees figured out a way. Palm tree can grow next to a redwood. You know what I mean? We can figure it out, but that's true. You're right. And so your yoke is you, but no two flavors should be the same. That's the beauty of it. I'm sure Michele Vennard, there will never be another Michele Vennard that graces this earth. Same with you. So pull out that which is you. That's the authenticity. We bring all this back. Right? That's what the yoga is asking of us. That's why it's really punishing in there, you guys. It is not meant to be easy. It's going to make you look. I always tell people when they first come, like I pray for each of you, and I'm like, it's a truth teller, right? It's going to surface whatever's going on for you to look at. It's the mirror. But it's nurturing, right, too. It's going to make it, and you're capable, and you're, So let the suffering happen. Look at, detach a little bit, notice, and realize, okay, it is different. Mine is different. Does that make sense? Does that kind of answer? Yeah. Yeah. Because you're right, my mental piece is a lot different than yours, For me, I love to be around people. Huh? No, I know, but I mean, just to give you a silly one, right? Like, for me, maybe my mental piece is being around people and wanting to talk all day long. Someone else's mental piece is like, I'm going home and, yeah, I'm going to watch a movie and, right, But that's all, yeah. So to me, there's like, okay, we have our soul, right? And I think our soul is very much the oneness. Who we are is not separate, that soul. But our personalities, have fun. I love my blings. Yeah, right? And so what your personality is, but be conscious of it. Right? Be conscious of it and ask yourself, okay, why is that attractive to me? Why am I bringing that in? Just be conscious, right? That consciousness. And that way you can look at someone else and go, and appreciate, that Lee likes to wear his hair that way. That's cool. That's his personality. It's just, right? It's who we are.
Good that you have so many hairs.
Yeah. He's got one side shaved and the other one's like tied up. And it's, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool,
I think it's interesting when you mentioned the suffering, right? So I think I was doing the bow pulling pose, and it's hot, and you feel the suffering. It's hot outside, it's hot inside, and I said, I'm going to change this up, and I'm going to start to smile and see if it affects it, or just. I felt like laughing actually, just because it was so hot, and you're just so like, oh my God, I'm in it, right? But the smiling actually made the suffering,
Well, I noticed your energy. You were in my class yesterday. Your energy was way different than I've seen it before. I felt it on the podium. I could tell. I knew something was shifting or whatever. For you, that's the great thing about this practice too. Teachers don't need to know. We're just delivering. We're the messenger. You guys just take the message. But that's awesome. And you're right, it was ridiculously hot yesterday. Yeah,
But you just start laughing.
You're like,
what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do? Okay, I'll put a smile on my face, and I'm like gonna do bow, and feel like I'm in a pool and slip sliding in a way. Yeah.
Like, me too.
Yeah.
It's just hot.
Yeah. Which is so cool in there too. It's like we're all suffering. We're all doing that at the same time. We all have our things in there we're working on, but we can do it together as a class. Yeah. So yoga, your healing modality, that you want to use to create the best version of who you are, because that's what you're intended to be, is great, not small. Highest version of who you are. Don't be shy about it.
Thank you, Michele. Make you realize that we never just come and do, but it has a lot of things inside.
It does. Huge, small package with huge things. That's why I'm so adamant in making sure that that's what this is. Because how dare, it's not my yoga, right? I'm giving you a space all day to do what you do in there to get all of this. And I think to alter that is wrong.
You give us a space, but you push us to.
You know what? I tell you, I think for me, Marina, is I don't know what's going to happen when I'm on the podium. I really kind of say a moment of silence, because I think what I need to do sometimes is get out of my own way and not think about the class I want to give you, but the one that's there for me to deliver. You know what I mean? That's in your best interest. But also, too, you guys respond to me and give me permission to pull more out of you. That's all, It's okay that you look at it that way. It is what it is. right? You know, and truly, honestly, I think if it was easy, we wouldn't come. We just wouldn't. We wouldn't. It'd be too, you know. It's our culture. Remember, it follows human nature. You know. So it is hard. I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me share all this with you. And if you want to email me on anything, Facebook Live, if you want to, thank you so much for joining in, you guys. I so appreciate it. And if you want to know any more, this is all recorded, you guys. You can go back to it and listen to it again.
On our Facebook page.
On our Facebook page, so make sure you join in on that too. Thanks, guys. Namaste.